Take a look at this. How good of a year is Denzel Ward having? He passes defended leaders heading into this week. This from the 33rd team. Again, he has the most of anybody. Derek Stingley Jr. from the Texans is 2 behind him. Ward has 19. Stingley Jr. has 17. 15 for Cam Taylor-Britt, who will be covering the Browns pass catchers. But you've wasted a really good season of Denzel Ward, and it's getting overlooked because you got 3 wins.
Again, this is a testament to some of the guys that they had on this roster and why people thought that they were going to be a Super Bowl contender. You have another year where Myles Garrett has double-digit sacks. You got another year where Denzel Ward is one of the best shutdown corners in the league, and so it's a shame because we've consistently talked about this. We've talked about this with Joe Thomas and how these guys are putting up prime years of their career, and we see how it affects you when you miss. See, when you miss on other guys, when you miss on a Baker Mayfield, and I get what people say, well, that wasn't a miss. Baker's playing pretty good, and I think he's a serviceable quarterback that can win with a bunch of stuff around him. That's cool. But when you pass up Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, that is a miss unequivocally. These are MVP franchise-type quarterbacks playing out of their mind. When you miss on those 2 guys in the same draft, you're in trouble, because what happens is those players around him at the time in their prime, the Denzel Wards, in their prime, the Myles Garretts, in their prime, the Nick Chubbs. When you have those guys, you want to capitalize, and everything comes to a complete crescendo at the same time. So everything is cooked correctly. The meal is coming together correctly. And now you can eat the dinner together as a family. But no, when you miss at quarterback, you have Nick Chubb's best years, and those seem to be behind him. Denzel Ward is seeming to be hitting his stride where he's one of the best corners. Myles Garrett, we've seen what he's done, Defensive Player of the Year. The problem is you don't have the other pieces around him. The offensive line is a little older. They peaked a couple of years ago. You take a look at the wide receiver core. They went for it with Jarvis and Odell, and that really didn't come to fruition with Baker. So you see these different groups, the receivers, the D-line, the linebackers, all these people who may have peaked at different times, and they didn't come together to make the Super Bowl team. So, it's a shame that we waste this type of performance from a Denzel Ward, because that could have been something that would have propelled us to a place where the Browns could have been a Super Bowl contender if they had the quarterback corrected, if Deshaun Watson would have done what most people at the time of the trade thought he was going to do, which was going to be a top 5, top 10, at worst, top 12 type quarterback, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and now we're back to chasing the quarterback, which is how you get stuck where the Browns have been, and we'll tie it all the way back to the callers thing. The bar is low because until you find a quarterback, you're fighting to get back to mediocrity. When you find a quarterback, you can go from mediocre to a consistent playoff team.